Chosen one, you did not click on this video by chance today, but something extraordinary is about to happen in your life that you never imagined. Have you ever felt like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, yet you sense that something incredible is just around the corner? What if I told you that this feeling isn't just a coincidence? It's a divine sign. You've been chosen. Right now, at this very moment, God is preparing to release something into your life that is going to blow your mind. A supernatural check is headed your way, and it's not just a financial blessing. This check represents breakthrough, abundance, and the favor of God that no man can stop. God is moving in ways you can't yet see. You've faced challenges, setbacks, and disappointments, but each one was preparing you for what's about to unfold. The wait, the tears, the prayers, they were all leading up to this moment. This supernatural check is not just about money. It's a confirmation that God has seen your faithfulness, your perseverance, and your heart. He is about to deposit a blessing in your life that you never saw coming. Because when God writes a check, it's backed by heaven itself. You might be wondering, why me? Let me remind you, God doesn't choose the equipped. He equips the chosen. You are favored not by chance, but by divine appointment. This supernatural check has your name on it, and no force on earth can stop it from coming to you. So get ready, stand in faith. What's about to happen will shift everything in your favor. God is with you, and your breakthrough is closer than ever. But to fully step into this amazing moment, you must be in tune with the powerful energy flowing into your life. Before we dive deeper into this transformational message, pause for a moment and do 3 things. Hit the like button, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 77. By doing so, you are sharing your energy with God. When we hear the word check, most of us automatically think about money. But the supernatural check that God is about to release into your life is so much more than just financial gain. Yes, there may be material blessings involved, but what's coming is far bigger, far deeper, and far more impactful than just money in your bank account. This check represents a holistic blessing, touching every aspect of your life: your peace, your joy, your health, your relationships, and your spiritual growth. It's a divine reward that goes beyond anything you could have imagined. First and foremost, this check is about peace. We live in a world that is constantly filled with chaos, stress, and anxiety. So often, our minds are filled with worry about what's going to happen next, or how we're going to make it through a difficult situation. But the peace that God is about to pour into your life through this supernatural check is one that surpasses all understanding. It's the kind of peace that allows you to rest, even when things around you seem uncertain. It's a peace that comes from knowing that God is in control and that He has already worked everything out in your favor. Along with peace, this check brings joy. But not just any kind of joy, the deep, lasting joy that comes from God alone. This joy isn't based on your circumstances or what's happening in your life at any given moment. It's a joy that is rooted in your relationship with God, knowing that you are loved, cared for, and chosen by Him. This joy will uplift your spirit, even on the toughest days, and will remind you that no matter what you face, you have reason to celebrate because God is with you. This supernatural check also encompasses your health. God cares about every part of you, including your physical well-being. If you've been struggling with illness or pain, get ready, because part of this divine reward is the restoration of your health. Whether it's a miraculous healing or the strength to overcome ongoing health challenges, God's blessing will touch your body in a way that brings wholeness and vitality. You'll feel rejuvenated with renewed energy to live out your purpose. But that's not all. God's blessing will also touch your relationships. Maybe you've experienced brokenness in your family or friendships. Maybe there's been tension or distance with people you love. This supernatural check represents the healing and restoration of those connections. Expect reconciliation where there's been conflict, deeper bonds where there's been distance, and love to flourish where there's been misunderstanding. God's favor will bring unity and peace to your relationships, making them stronger than ever before. Your purpose is also a key part of this blessing. Sometimes we go through life feeling uncertain about our direction or calling. But with this supernatural check, God is going to reveal clarity and purpose to you like never before. He's going to open doors of opportunity that align with the gifts and talents He's placed inside you. You'll feel a renewed sense of motivation and passion as you step into the purpose God has designed specifically for you. In addition, this check will uplift your emotional well-being. If you've been carrying emotional burdens, whether it's stress, fear, or grief, God's blessing will bring emotional healing. You'll feel a weight lifted off your shoulders as God fills your heart with His love and comfort. Emotional wounds will begin to heal, and you'll experience a new sense of freedom and joy in your daily life. This supernatural check will lead to spiritual growth. As you receive God's blessings in these different areas of your life, you'll also grow deeper in your relationship with Him. Your faith will be strengthened, and your trust in God's goodness will increase. You'll find yourself drawn closer to Him, experiencing His presence in new and powerful ways. This blessing will not only change your external circumstances, but will also transform your inner spirit, bringing you into a deeper understanding of who God is and how much He loves you. You've faced countless challenges in life, some you never saw coming, and others that you've been battling for as long as you can remember. Whether it's financial struggles, broken relationships, health issues, or the deep emotional pain that you've carried silently, it may have felt like you were all alone at times. But here's the truth. God has seen every single moment of your hardship, and He's been with you through it all. Imagine a parent watching over their child as they navigate through difficult times. That's exactly how God has been watching over you. Every tear you've shed, every sleepless night you've spent worrying, and every prayer you've whispered in desperation, none of it has been ignored. God sees you in your most vulnerable moments, and He knows the weight you've been carrying. More importantly, He knows your heart. He understands the depth of your faith, even when it feels like you're barely holding on. You might wonder why you had to go through so much. Why didn't God step in earlier? The truth is, every trial you've faced was not meant to break you, but to prepare you. Like gold that is refined through fire, your faith, character, and endurance have been strengthened through these challenges. It may not have been easy, but through every struggle, you were being prepared for something bigger, something that could only come after the refining process was complete. This supernatural check that God is about to place in your hands is His way of acknowledging everything you've been through. It's a sign that your struggles were not in vain. It's a divine confirmation that God has not only seen your pain, but He's also been working behind the scenes to prepare a breakthrough for you. This check represents far more than just a physical or financial blessing. It is a direct message from God that says, "I see you. I've been with you through it all, And now, it's time for your reward. You've been faithful, even when it seemed like nothing was changing. You've continued to pray, even when you didn't see immediate answers. You've held on to your hope, even in the darkest moments. God has seen your faithfulness, and now He is preparing to open the floodgates of heaven over your life. Think of this supernatural check as a culmination of everything you've endured. All the times you've pressed on when it felt impossible. All the times you've trusted God when you couldn't see the outcome. This check is the evidence that none of that effort, none of that faith was wasted. God is rewarding you for every moment you stayed strong, even when you felt weak. What's even more incredible is that this is just the beginning. This check is a symbol that your season of struggle is shifting into a season of blessings. God is getting ready to turn things around for you in ways that you never imagined. And remember, His blessings go beyond material things. Peace, joy, restoration, and hope are also on the way. God's acknowledgement of your faithfulness will touch every area of your life. If you've ever wondered if God really saw your struggles, take heart, He did. And now, He's about to do something in your life that will show you just how much He's been watching, caring, and working on your behalf. The supernatural check is coming, and it's a symbol of God's faithfulness to you, just as you have been faithful to Him. The blessing you are about to receive is not just for you. It goes far beyond that. It's meant to impact your family, your children, and even the generations that will come after you. The supernatural check that God is preparing for you will break the generational chains that have held you and your family back for years. This blessing is about creating a new legacy, one of abundance, freedom, and divine favor that will shape the future of your bloodline. For some of us, we've seen cycles of struggle that seem to repeat generation after generation. Maybe your parents or grandparents experienced the same financial difficulties, health issues, or emotional wounds that you're facing now. It's like there's an invisible barrier that stops your family from moving forward, no matter how hard you try. These are what some call generational curses, patterns of lack, limitation, and struggle that seem impossible to escape. But here's the good news. God is about to break those chains. This supernatural check is more than just a financial blessing. It's a divine shift that will change the course of your family's history. The struggles that have held you down, the limitations that have kept you stuck, and the patterns that have been passed down from one generation to the next are about to be broken. God is stepping in to end those cycles once and for all. Think about the impact this will have. When God blesses you, He's not just thinking about you in the present moment. He's thinking about your children, your grandchildren, and the generations that will come after you. He's setting you up to create a new legacy, one that is built on His favor, abundance, and grace. The supernatural check represents a shift that will ripple through your entire family, transforming your bloodline for the better. Imagine a future where the struggles you've faced are no longer a part of your family's story. Imagine your children growing up without the same limitations you had to overcome. Instead of inheriting cycles of lack and struggle, they'll inherit blessings, opportunities, and freedom. They'll know what it means to live in the fullness of God's favor, because you were the one who broke the chains and paved the way for a new beginning. This check is a symbol of God's power to break generational curses, whether it's financial hardship, broken relationships, or emotional wounds that have been passed down through your family. God is stepping in to heal and restore. You may have felt like you were destined to repeat the same struggles as your parents or grandparents, but God is saying, no more. He's rewriting your family's story, and this supernatural check is proof that things are about to change. But it's not just about breaking curses. It's about creating a new legacy of blessings. What you do with this blessing will not only impact your life, but also the lives of your children and their children. You're not just receiving a check, you're receiving a seed that, when planted, will grow into a legacy of abundance, faith, and divine favor. Your family will be known for its strength, resilience, and unwavering trust in God's provision. This is your moment to break free from the limitations of the past. You are the one God has chosen to stand in the gap for your family, to break the chains that have held them back, and to lead them into a new season of blessing. This supernatural check is your confirmation that God is with you, and that He is working not just for your good, but for the good of your entire bloodline. As you step into this new season, remember that the blessings you receive are not just for you to enjoy. They are meant to be passed down, to be shared with those who come after you. God is entrusting you with the responsibility of creating a legacy that honors Him and blesses others. This is the beginning of something far bigger than yourself. This is the start of a generational shift that will bring glory to God and blessings to your family for years to come. So get ready for the chains to be broken. Get ready for the cycles of lack, struggle, and limitation to end. The supernatural check is coming, and it's bringing with it a new legacy, one that is built on God's blessings, favor, and abundance. You're not just changing your life, you're changing the lives of everyone who comes after you. God is with you, and this is only the beginning of the incredible things He has planned for you and your family. Have you ever wondered why certain blessings take so long to arrive? You might have felt like you've been waiting forever for a breakthrough or a sign from God. The truth is, we often expect blessings to come on our schedule when we think we're ready, but God's timing is not our timing. He sees the bigger picture, and His plan is always perfect. The wait wasn't a denial, it was divine preparation. And now, after all you've been through, God is ready to open the floodgates of heaven at just the right moment. It's easy to feel frustrated during the waiting period, especially when you've been praying, working hard, and doing everything you can to be faithful. You may have asked yourself, why hasn't this blessing come yet? Or why do I keep facing so many delays? It can be discouraging to see others receive their blessings while you're still waiting, wondering when your moment will come. But the thing about God's blessings is that they don't operate on our timeline. God sees your entire life from beginning to end. He knows what you're going through now, and He knows what's coming next. His timing is always perfect, even if it doesn't make sense to us in the moment. What feels like a delay to you is actually God working behind the scenes, preparing you for something bigger and better than you could ever imagine. Think about it this way. If the blessing came too early, before you were truly ready for it, it might not have the impact God intends. Sometimes we need to go through certain experiences, challenges, and growth periods before we're fully prepared to handle the blessings He has in store for us. Just like gold is refined by fire, we are often refined by the trials and waiting periods in our lives. During the wait, God is shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and teaching you valuable lessons. He's preparing you not only to receive the blessing, but to sustain it and use it in a way that glorifies Him. The waiting period is not wasted time. It's a season of growth, learning, and refinement. When you come out on the other side, you'll be more ready than ever to embrace the incredible things God has planned for you. It's important to remember that God's timing is never late. He knows exactly when the right moment will come for you to receive your blessing. And when it does, it will feel like the pieces of your life suddenly fall into place. You'll realize that every challenge, every delay, and every closed door was part of God's greater plan to bring you to this point. The blessing will come at the perfect time, and you'll see that it was worth the wait. When you look at stories in the Bible, you'll find that timing was everything. Take Abraham and Sarah, for example. They waited many years for their promised son Isaac, and they faced times of doubt and frustration, but God's promise was fulfilled at the exact right time, and their story became one of faith and trust in God's timing. The same applies to you. Your blessing will come when God knows it's the best time for you. The wait you've experienced was never about God saying no to your prayers. It was about God saying, "Not yet, but soon." He was preparing you, refining you, and making sure that when the time comes, you'll be ready to receive it in full. Now that you've been tested and refined, God is ready to release the blessing that He's been holding for you. The supernatural check that's coming is arriving at a time when you're most ready to handle it, appreciate it, and use it for God's glory. You'll see that the wait was all part of His perfect plan. This is your season of breakthrough. God is opening the floodgates of heaven, and you're about to experience blessings that will flow into every area of your life. So don't be discouraged by the wait. Know that God has been working behind the scenes, and His timing is always perfect. Trust that the blessing is coming at exactly the right moment, when you're fully prepared to receive it, and when it will have the greatest impact on your life. The wait was never wasted. God's perfect timing is about to bring you into a season of overflow, and everything you've been waiting for is about to come to pass in a way that is beyond what you could have ever imagined. This is the moment you've been preparing for, and God's perfect timing will soon be revealed. Stay faithful, stay expectant, and get ready for the blessing to arrive right on time. Faith is powerful. It's the key that unlocks doors, the bridge between what you hope for and what you'll receive. When it comes to receiving the supernatural check that God has prepared for you, your faith plays a crucial role. Even though you may not see the blessing yet, it's faith that activates the process, setting things in motion for the miracle to happen in your life. Faith is more than just believing with your mind. It's trusting with your heart, even when there's no physical evidence yet. You might not see the supernatural check in your hands right now, but that doesn't mean it's not on its way. God has already signed it. He's written your name on it, and He's preparing to deliver it to you. The timing may not be what you expected, but God's promises are sure. Faith is what bridges the gap between where you are now and where God is taking you. It's easy to have faith when things are going well, but true faith shines the brightest when you face uncertainty. When you can't see the full picture, or when it feels like your prayers aren't being answered, that's when your faith matters the most. Trusting God in those moments is what brings you closer to the breakthrough He has for you. You may not see the entire plan, but you don't need to. You just need to believe that God is in control. Faith is like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't immediately see the fruit. It takes time for the roots to grow deep, for the plant to break through the soil, and eventually for the fruit to appear. The same is true with your blessing. Faith is the seed you plant, and over time, you'll see the harvest. But in the waiting period, don't lose hope. Keep believing that the supernatural check is coming because God is always faithful to His word. One of the most important things to remember is that your faith isn't about seeing immediate results. It's about trusting that those results are on their way. The Bible tells us that faith can move mountains, and that's not just a metaphor. Your faith, even if it feels small, has the power to shift circumstances, open doors, and bring blessings that seemed impossible. That's why it's so important to keep holding on to your faith, even when doubt tries to creep in. Think about the story of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. They didn't see the path through the water until Moses, in faith, stretched out his hand. It was their faith in God's power that parted the sea and allowed them to walk through to freedom. In the same way, your faith is parting the waters in your life, making a way for your supernatural check to be delivered. So, even if you're still waiting, keep your faith strong. Trust that God has already prepared the blessing for you, and it's on its way. Your faith is unlocking the doors, moving the obstacles, and making room for the overflow of blessings God has in store for you. Every prayer you've prayed, every moment of trust, and every step of faith is working together to bring about the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Faith is not passive, it's active. It's waking up every day with the expectation that God is working on your behalf, even when you can't see it yet. It's believing that your supernatural check is already signed, sealed, and on its way. Keep the faith, because your belief is what will bring it into your hands. God is faithful, and through your faith, you will see the blessings overflow in every area of your life. When God blesses you, it's not just for your own benefit. You are not the end point of the blessing. You're a vessel through which God wants to work, to pour His goodness into the lives of others. The supernatural check that's coming your way is a symbol of God's abundant love for you, but it's also meant to flow through you, reaching those around you. You're being equipped not just to experience blessings for yourself, but to be a light for others, showing them God's goodness through your actions. Imagine that God's blessings are like a river, constantly flowing and bringing life wherever it goes. You're like a channel in that river, directing the flow of His grace, love, and provision to those who need it. The more you allow the blessings to flow through you, the more you will experience God's continuous provision. The check is not something to hold on to selfishly. It's a gift that you're meant to share, to bless others, and to make a difference in the lives of those around you. There are people in your life who need what God is giving you. It could be a word of encouragement, financial help, emotional support, or simply a reminder of God's love. When you share your blessings, you're not only meeting their needs, you're becoming a living testimony of God's goodness. Others will see how you've been blessed, and it will encourage them to have faith that God will also provide for them. You become a reflection of His love, and through your generosity, others are pointed back to Him. This is part of God's greater plan. He's raising you up so you can lift others. As you pour into the lives of those around you, you'll notice that the blessings in your life won't dry up. Instead, they will continue to multiply. This is the amazing thing about God's blessings. The more you give, the more you receive. When you open your hands to give, you also leave them open to receive more. God's blessings are meant to circulate, not stagnate. Think about the story of the widow in the Bible, who was down to her last bit of oil. When the prophet told her to pour out what she had, the oil didn't run out. It kept flowing as long as she kept pouring. That's how God's blessings work in your life too. The more you pour out to others, the more God will fill you up. As you become a vessel of blessing, you'll experience an overflow of His goodness in every area of your life. So don't hold back. Let the blessings flow. Be generous with what God is giving you, whether it's your time, your resources, or your love. As you bless others, you'll be amazed at how much more God continues to pour into your life. You are a vessel of blessing, and through you, God's light will shine brightly, bringing hope, encouragement, and provision to those who need it most. The check God has written for you is meant to keep moving, blessing you and everyone around you. When God moves, He moves in ways that go far beyond what we can think or even dream of. His blessings are never small or limited. They are abundant and overflowing. The supernatural check you're about to receive won't just meet your expectations, it will surpass them in every possible way. God's plan for your life is bigger than anything you've envisioned, and when His blessings arrive, they will leave you in awe. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking too small. We often limit God's blessings to what we think is possible based on our human understanding. But God operates on a completely different level. His power is infinite, and His ways are higher than ours. What you're expecting might be a financial blessing, a new opportunity, or an answered prayer in one specific area. But God is preparing something much bigger, something that will touch every area of your life in ways you didn't even realize you needed. Get ready to be surprised. The blessing coming your way will not only meet your immediate needs, but will also open doors to opportunities you hadn't even thought of. It will overflow into your relationships, your health, your emotional well-being, and your spiritual growth. God doesn't just give in small portions, He gives in abundance. The Bible says, "Now to Him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think." Ephesians 3:20. This is what you can expect, something that is exceedingly abundantly more than you could have asked for. God's blessings come with surprises too. He often works in unexpected ways, showing up in moments and through people we least expect. So, don't be surprised when this blessing shows up in a way you didn't anticipate. It might come through a new opportunity, a relationship, or even a sudden breakthrough in an area where you've been struggling. However it comes, it will be bigger and better than what you thought. Think about the story of Abraham in the Bible. God promised Abraham a son, but not only did He give him a son in his old age, God also made Abraham the father of many nations. The blessing far exceeded what Abraham originally imagined. In the same way, what's coming your way isn't just the answer to a single prayer. It's the beginning of something much larger than you anticipated. So, prepare your heart for more. Expect the unexpected, because God is about to do something that will leave you amazed. This blessing will not only change your life, but will also position you to impact others in ways you never thought possible. Keep your faith strong, stay open to the possibilities, and get ready for a supernatural surprise that will remind you just how great and loving our God truly is. Receiving this supernatural check is not the final destination. It's just the beginning of what God has in store for you. Think of this blessing as the opening of a door leading to even greater things. Once this blessing enters your life, it will set off a chain reaction of divine favor, and you'll experience an outpouring of abundance beyond anything you could have imagined. God's blessings flow like rivers. They don't stop once they start. This check, this gift from God, is the first wave in what will be a continuous flow of blessings in your life. It's a sign that God is working in your favor, and He's preparing to pour out even more of His goodness on you. When you receive this check, it's important to remember that it's just the start of something bigger. God is not a one-time giver. He is a provider who continues to meet our needs, exceed our expectations, and bless us in ways that keep growing over time. The supernatural check is the initial spark, but what comes after will be even greater. As you receive this blessing, keep your faith strong and your heart open because more is on the way. This is the beauty of God's favor. It grows and multiplies. Just as a small seed can turn into a mighty tree, the blessing you receive today will continue to grow and bear fruit in your life. What may seem like a single check or a single answer to prayer is actually the beginning of a larger plan that God is unfolding. But here's the key. You need to stay connected to your faith. Keep trusting in God's plan, even when you can't see all the pieces falling into place. As you keep your faith alive and continue walking in obedience, you'll witness how God's favor keeps flowing. His blessings don't have an expiration date. They continue to show up in new and unexpected ways. The Bible tells us that God's mercies are new every morning. Lamentations 3:22-23. This means that what you receive today is just the start. Tomorrow, the next day, and every day after that, there are new blessings waiting for you. Each day brings fresh opportunities for God's grace, provision, and abundance to show up in your life.